Tonight, horror abroad, felt at home.
So while I'm devastated for what happened, I'm not surprised.
Winnipeg's Jewish community reels following a devastating mass shooting in Australia. Also tonight, spending on the spread.
As we get closer to the holidays, my guess is that it's going to get harder to get a good deal.
Which items are going to cost you more and where you may see savings for holiday dinners this season. Plus,
we couldn't go anywhere. We're starting to I was trying not to panic, but it was hard, right?
What we're learning about a water main break which flooded Main Street and left some drivers stranded.
CTV News. Live from downtown Winnipeg with Marilee Caruso.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. The Jewish community in Winnipeg is coming together tonight after a horrifying mass shooting on the first day of Hanukkah at Australia's Bondi Beach. One synagogue member says the attack stole their moment of joy. CTV's Harrison Shin is standing by live with what people here are saying. Harrison?
Merely two common things were said today: anger and a need to stay positive, and the warning some of what you're about to see may be triggering. Sunday was the first day of Hanukkah, and a grisly scene unfolded at Australia's Bondi Beach. Women, children, and men were gunned down in an anti-Semitic terror attack. As authorities investigate, emotions were high for Manitoba's Jewish community.
I felt anger. I felt they were taking our moment of joy.
For Elbaz, the attack felt personal and an assault on her faith.
I felt that we had to somehow get the light back, not to allow the darkness to seep in and take over.
What I've seen is people trying to find ways to get together to make it clear that we are here to increase the light and to spread the light.
Ma says here in Winnipeg, people are coming to synagogues and lighting candles to show that this attack won't dampen their spirits. Mayor Scott Gillingham says he has been in contact with Jewish community leaders and police, describing the Bondi Beach attack as an anti-Semitic terrorism act.
We have to continue as a community to foster and to pursue is that we have to continue to combat hate and any hate-based violence against any group, and we have to continue right now to fight against anti-Semitism in our community.
Winnipeg police say there is no specific connection between Winnipeg and the attack in Australia, but they are increasing their presence at community gatherings.
We want to make sure that the community is aware we're there. We want to make sure things are safe. We're there to deter, but we also want to be there to reassure the community.
Police are asking residents to report anything suspicious so they can investigate.
Harrison, what is the latest on the incident?
Merely, as of today, 15 people were killed in the attack. Global Affairs says the department is not aware of any Canadian casualties, but among the dead, a rabbi who was a father of 5, a Holocaust survivor, and a 10-year-old girl.
All right, thanks for this, Harrison. And we will have much more on the fallout from that devastating shooting a little bit later in the newscast. We'll hear from a Canadian who was actually on the beach as the violence unfolded. Plus, we'll hear more about a push for even more stringent gun laws in Australia. That's all still to come. The Manitoba government is looking at another larger than expected deficit. The mid-fiscal year update says the province is now predicting a deficit of $1.6 billion. That's more than double the $794 million shortfall originally forecast in the spring. The province is blaming the larger deficit on the $370 million wildfire response, along with steep losses at Manitoba Hydro, which it says relies on water levels for energy. Finance Minister Adrian Salas says the government still needs and intends to balance the budget before the next election without cutting any services.
We're executing on our plan. If you were to remove those costs this year, we would be at more or less right at our deficit target. So this is not a time to cut programs or to look at making significant changes that might further risk a slowdown in the economy. We want to make sure that we're continuing to move forward. Again, if we take those one-time costs out, we're essentially hitting at target this year.
Sala added the government would be close to its original deficit projection had it not been for the wildfires and drought. The fiscal update shows most government departments are on or close to their budgets. The board chairman at Manitoba's Crown-owned energy utility has resigned 2 years after taking the job. Ben Graham was appointed as part of an overhaul of the board of directors undertaken by the NDP government shortly after it won the October 2023 election. Hydro says Graham led the utility through a number of changes, including plans for rehabilitating aging infrastructure and advancing reconciliation. There's no word on who might replace him. The city still doesn't know exactly how a crew managed to break a water main on Main Street Friday. What is known is the incident caused a tremendous headache for a lot of people. Vehicles were trapped in the rising water and businesses in the area were impacted. CTV's John Hendricks joins us now live from the area with an update. So, John, is everything back to normal tonight?
Not fully, Marilee. One lane on Main Street in roughly the same area where the water main break happened is still shut down to traffic. And I can tell you that is causing a lot of traffic problems here. Just a moment ago, just before you guys came to me, I saw a vehicle basically spin all around. The roads here still quite slippery from all of that water that flooded out onto the streets on Friday. The toughest part of the commute on Main Street Friday wasn't traffic blocking the road. It was the torrent of water rushing down it from a water main break.
It's a feeder main, so that feeder main is a very wide pipe, so the water filled up the road really fast.
Oh my God, look at that truck. It's stuck in the water.
Jacqueline Storts and many others on the road drove right through the rapidly rising water, but her aunt's van didn't make it to the other side.
Just go, just go. We're stuck! My auntie's vehicle ended up dying in the water. So we're basically stuck. We couldn't go anywhere.
They were rescued after calling 911. And while sitting in the ambulance, they met another person whose vehicle was also disabled by the water.
He said that his vehicle started filling up with water and he had to jump out of his car.
After an hour and a half, city crews closed Main Street in both directions, and that put a big dent in business at the Kildonan, which is on Main.
Friday afternoon is the busiest day of the week, and evening is the busiest time of the day. So, we have to shut it down. There's no sales. We're almost whole night is a dead night for us.
Councillor Eady says he knows the city's response to the water main break is being criticized. However, he says crews worked hard to fix the problem as fast as they could.
It does take a while to close off all the streets because you have all this traffic and barricades have to be put up, and you have to let what traffic's sort of in there to try to get out.
Now, a spokesperson tells CTV News that the city is still investigating the incident. They also tell me that the owner of the Kildonan can contact 311 and file a claim for their business interruption, and it will be investigated.
All right, thanks for this, John. Saturday was chilly, but nothing could stop these carolers.
You would even say it goes.
Giggling Ivory's a private music school in River Grove, and it dispatched a team of carolers from Lindenwood's Community Center. The team visited homes, going door to door, singing and collecting donations for Harvest Manitoba. Organizers say all ages of carolers took part, and for some, it was their first time ever caroling.
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
Well, I think it's fabulous that we can bring a little bit of old school community helping community together. Because sometimes we forget, we get caught behind our devices, although we do have a scan code, a caroling book today, and donation, a QR code that you can donate for Harmony for Harvest. But it's old with new, combining it together, and again, community with community.
This was Stacey Macaluso's first time taking part in the caroling, but says she hopes to now make it an annual event. Boy, those carolers sure braved some chilly temperatures over the weekend, and we'll be braving more weather-related events this year. You are tracking a lot of snow.
Listen, we've had one clipper system after the next over the last week or two. We have two potent ones on our doorstep. The first one starting to push into Manitoba now. It's going to bring an awful lot of snow to parts of northern Manitoba. Here in the south, we may be contending with some freezing rain or some freezing drizzle. We can already see that starting to pick up on the radar. And then there is another clipper system. This time it's going to bring an awful lot of snow to the south. And this will have travel impacts by midweek, particularly Wednesday night. I'll have more details coming up on that, and the temperature roller coaster that will accompany these systems as well throughout the week. Let's take a look right now, though, first through the Bathfitter Live Eye. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. In Winnipeg right now, it is partly cloudy. It's -10 with the wind chill. It feels like -18, courtesy of those south winds at 20 kilometers an hour. The pressure is dropping, and the humidity right now, Marilee, is 87%.
Thanks, Colleen. Manitoba Justice says a 29-year-old man died in custody at Headingley Correctional Centre Saturday. The province is not releasing any more details, citing privacy reasons. It adds the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner has been alerted about the death. A pair of tech companies are eyeing a plot of land just south of Winnipeg for a new data center. Jet AI and Consensus Core say they've secured purchase agreements for 350 acres directly north of Ile-des-Chênes, roughly 9 kilometers south of Winnipeg. The company describes the area as a Goldilocks site for a data center, given the close proximity to hydropower and natural gas lines. Data centers are typically large facilities which house vast networks of servers needed for computing and networking infrastructure. A spokesperson for Consensus Core says the project is still in the preliminary stage and will depend on rezoning approvals. While there isn't a final design plan yet, the building itself wouldn't take up the full 350 acres. The RM of Rashad says it would be premature to comment as nothing has formally been presented to council. The news on food prices is only getting grimmer. Statistics Canada says the cost of groceries was more than double the inflation rate last month, year over year. Fruit, beef, and coffee are the main culprits. With more on this, CTV's Jeff Keel joins us now live. So, Jeff, what does this mean for those of us who are hosting Christmas dinner this year?
It appears most of the dishes around the big meal will cost you more, but there is a chance you might find a deal on the main course. As grocery shoppers stock up for the holidays, they continue to deal with rising prices.
It's very hard to get by with the prices that are rising right now. We have to mix match what we can grab one month and what we can the other month.
The cost of food is extremely high. Like, everything's up.
Statistics Canada says grocery food inflation rose in November year over year by 4.7%, greatly outpacing the consumer inflation rate, which was 2.2%.
There are a few places at the grocery store that are safe places to go if you're on a tight budget, unfortunately.
Stats Can says fresh fruit, beef, and coffee were top contributors, in part because of shortages and bad weather.
Meat prices are staying high and not coming down at all.
So what does this mean for that holiday meal in December? Sylvain Charlebois, the director of the Agri-Food Analytics Lab at Dalhousie University, says the cost of ham, fruit, and veggies are on the rise, but there could be some good news with the main dish. He says some grocers are cutting the price of their turkeys to attract shoppers.
Turkeys have been used as loss leaders, really, to get you in there and buy other things that are a little bit more expensive, like cranberries, for example, potatoes, and other things you would need.
But Charlebois says as we head towards Christmas, deals on birds could be drying up. At Cantor's Meats, owner Ed Cantor says the ham price is stable this year, but the turkey is a bit more.
75 cents more a pound compared to last year.
Over the last couple of years, the higher prices have seen more people do potluck dinners to spread out the cost. The hosts we talked to say they're going to tough it out.
We're just going to try to do it ourselves this year.
You know, it happens once a year. Family comes in from out of the city. So, you know, we just try to have fun for the holidays.
And Charlebois says if you like fruitcake, he has a warning. He says most of them have been shrinkflated.
Jeff, any tips on how you could save on anything this year?
Well, Charlebois says on the veggie side, you might want to go frozen. You might be able to save there. And he says if you want to make a charcuterie board, he says cheese prices have actually been stable.
All right. Thanks for this, Jeff. The federal government is promising $7.5 million for upgrades to a community center in South Winnipeg. The money is earmarked for a new arena and expanded rec facility at Dakota Community Center in St. Vital. The feds say it includes new dressing rooms, a new rink, expanded childcare facilities, and a fitness area, as well as an ice plant. The community center's president says the project is still years away from completion. It's hoping to secure more funding to reach the roughly $50 million needed. Still to come tonight, more details on the ongoing investigation into the Bondi Beach mass shooting.
It was just full of life, positivity.
How victims are being remembered as Australian legislators promise to tighten up gun laws. Plus, looking back on the legacy of Rob Reiner after the legendary director and his wife are killed in Los Angeles.
We all know just how cold Manitoba winters can be. Imagine not having a winter coat, boots, a toque, or mitts, and stepping out into the cold. That's the reality for many kids. But you can change that. Give the gift of warmth. Donate to Coats for Kids.
Taking a look at the markets tonight, crude oil dropped 62 cents. The Canadian dollar is nearly unchanged at 72.6 cents U.S. Gold added $6. The TSX down 43 points. The Dow Jones fell 41 points, while the Nasdaq lost 137 points. Anguish and anger tonight after an anti-Semitic terror attack in Australia. A father and son targeting members of Sydney's Jewish community who were marking the first night of Hanukkah. 15 people are dead, including a 10-year-old girl, a rabbi, and a Holocaust survivor. The government is facing scrutiny now over its handling of unchecked hatred and is also promising to overhaul gun laws. CTV's Judy Trin on the victims, the shooters, and what the investigation is revealing.
Grief uniting hundreds of mourners 24 hours after a mass shooting on Bondi Beach. Violence that turned the celebration of Hanukkah into carnage.
Hundreds of people running and screaming off the beach. So I turned around and we just started running back as quick as we could back to our hostel.
At least 15 people were killed, dozens were wounded. The victims range in age from 10 to 87 years old. Among those killed, the rabbi leading the celebration, Eli Schlanger, who had relatives in Toronto.
He was just full of life, positivity. It was his mission to bring the light of Judaism into the world.
Authorities call the attack terrorism and anti-Semitic.
The offenders are a 50-year-old and 24-year-old male who are father and son.
Police aren't releasing the suspect names, but Australian media are identifying them as Sajid Akram and Naveed Akram. The father was shot by police and had immigrated in 1988 as a student. His son Naveed was born in Australia.
He was examined on the basis of being associated with others, and the assessment was made that there was no indication of any ongoing threat.
38 other people remain in hospital, but the death toll could have been much greater if not for a bystander. Ahmed Al-Ahmed, a local fruit vendor from Syria, tackled the older suspect and was also shot multiple times. 2 decades ago, Ottawa Rabbi Chaim Mendelson participated in the Hanukkah ceremony on Bondi Beach. He calls Ahmed a hero.
He is literally the light in the darkness. He is the silver lining of this story. He is the reminder that there is a safe future for all of mankind to live together.
In the aftermath of this attack, Australia's leaders are promising to tighten already tough gun laws, including putting limits on the number of guns a person can own, as well as reviewing licenses. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
The FBI says it's foiled a bombing attack plan for New Year's Eve across Southern California. Authorities have arrested 4 alleged members of an extremist group.
The plan stated that the IEDs would be complex pipe bombs. It included instructions on how to manufacture the bombs and contained guidance on how to avoid leaving evidence behind that could be traced back to them.
Those arrested are accused of being members of an offshoot pro-Palestinian group called the Turtle Island Liberation Front. They were arrested last week east of Los Angeles, where they were allegedly preparing to test explosive devices. Now to news that has rocked Hollywood and beyond. Actor and director Rob Reiner and his wife are dead in what investigators believe was a fatal stabbing. Reiner's son, Nick, has been arrested and is being held on $4 million bail. Jay Gray reports.
Today, the Los Angeles Police Department arresting Rob Reiner's son, 32-year-old Nick Reiner, and booking him for suspicion of murder. This following the tragic death of famed director Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle Singer, a photographer. Sources tell ABC News it was the Reiner's daughter who found her mom and dad stabbed to death inside their Los Angeles home Sunday afternoon.
We have our robbery homicide division handling the investigation. They worked throughout the night on this case and were able to take into custody Nick Reiner, a suspect in this case.
A former security guard who worked with the Reiner family seen laying a candle and flowers at the front gate of the Reiner home, telling ABC's Trevor Ault he's saddened by the loss and shocked that Nick Reiner is in custody.
If Nick is the suspect, I would never have thought that he would have done this to his parents.
Mourners seen laying flowers at the filmmaker's Hollywood Boulevard star once the news broke Sunday. The son of comedy icon Carl Reiner. Rob Reiner first rose to fame in the 70s, playing the son-in-law to Archie Bunker on the hit sitcom All in the Family.
It looks like we lost a daughter, but we gained a meathead.
After the iconic show ended, Reiner turned to directing with hit movies like The Princess Bride, Stand By Me, Misery, When Harry Met Sally, and A Few Good Men.
You can't handle the truth!
Reiner's Castle Rock Entertainment helped reshape television comedy by producing Seinfeld. On top of his entertainment work, Reiner was also heavily involved in environmental causes and democratic politics. Rob Reiner's son, Nick, is now being held without bail, according to the Los Angeles Police Department. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
A second day of peace talks wrapped up in Berlin in hopes of ending the Russian war in Ukraine. The president of Ukraine also met with the president of the German parliament today. Ukrainian officials met today with American officials, including U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff and Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. The plan proposed by the U.S. calls for concessions by Ukraine, but a new poll shows a majority of Ukrainians reject the idea of making any major concessions. Jimmy Lai has been convicted in a landmark national security trial in Hong Kong and now faces a life sentence. Lai was one of the richest men in Hong Kong and an outspoken critic of Beijing. Janice Mackey-Freyer reports.
A Hong Kong court has handed down a guilty verdict for Jimmy Lai, the media tycoon and pro-democracy activist whose national security trial is seen as a landmark case. Lai had pleaded not guilty to charges he was a mastermind of protests that rocked Hong Kong in 2019. Officials here in Beijing have long cast him as a threat to China's authority. A three-judge panel convicted him on 2 counts of colluding with foreign forces, namely the United States. The court said he was meeting with U.S. officials to target China and Hong Kong with sanctions. There was also a charge of conspiracy to publish seditious material in the tabloid he owned, Apple Daily, which was shut down. A sentencing hearing is set for January 12th. Jimmy Lai could face spending the rest of his life in prison. Lai's case is seen as a sign of how dissent has been quashed in Hong Kong since a national security law was imposed in 2020. According to Lai's lawyers, President Trump had appealed directly to Xi Jinping when the leaders met in October to get Lai released from prison. He's 78 now and in failing health, according to his family. It isn't clear whether President Trump is pushing Lai's case to get him released on medical grounds. International rights groups have condemned the verdict, calling it a travesty of justice. Janice Mackey-Freyer, NBC News, Beijing.
An ultra-conservative has won Chile's presidential election. Jose Antonio Cast is now poised to lead the country's most right-wing government in 35 years of democracy. Cast has promised to crack down on crime, deport thousands of immigrants who don't have legal status, and revive Chile's economy. He took more than 58% of the vote. A major snowstorm has hit parts of northern Japan. The storm carried wind gusts of more than 110 kilometers an hour and brought more than 60 centimeters of snow. The near whiteout conditions caused traffic problems and other disruptions. There's been record-breaking snowfall in the area this month. Meanwhile, BC is bracing for another round of heavy rain. Flood warnings and highway closures are already in effect. Environment Canada had issued an orange level warning for parts of the Fraser Valley, which is indicative of strong, potentially dangerous winds and heavy rain. Metro Vancouver also received rainfall warnings. Flooding in areas close to water is likely. 9,000 homes across the Lower Mainland were without power this morning. A group of volunteers delivered care and warmth to unsheltered and vulnerable community members Sunday. The annual holiday walk by Urban Wagons delivered hot meals, winter clothing, care packages, and social interaction. The group's director, Lisa Morant, says the group has been hearing shelters are full. Several people picked up the care packages even before the walk officially started, and she described the moment as both purposeful and sad.
We should be able to do more for people who are challenged by shelter. It's sad in a way to see them come up knowing that they need blankets or hats or gloves. We see the frostbite on their fingers. So there needs to be more action, I guess, done with official agencies.
The group also said it's seeing a lot of people under economic stress. For winter, the group is looking for jackets and men's sock and any type of food. More information is available on its website. Just go to urbanwagons.ca.
But it's no surprise this year that a lot of folks are struggling.
And that's where the Salvation Army's Toy Mountain comes in. Up next, a look at where your donation ends up and how you can still lend a hand.
Clipper number 2 that will be bringing the snow to southern Manitoba will certainly be bringing some to Winnipeg. During the day, the snow will be falling in the south, but it is Wednesday night where it looks like conditions are shaping up to be terrible. Environment Canada suggesting near blizzard conditions are possible in southern Manitoba with snow and blowing snow. Then we may see it take us into Thursday morning, and then you see the temperature drops right off, but not for long. More snow is on the way by Friday, and then temperatures once again cool back down as we get into the weekend.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
Christmas came a little early for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and for a cornerstone of the team's offense. Running back Brady Oliveira has signed a 3-year contract extension with his hometown club, meaning he'll remain a Bomber through the 2028 CFL season. The CFL's most outstanding player in 2024 was scheduled to become a free agent in February. He's run for nearly 5,500 yards over his career, good for 6th in franchise history. Teddy bears, Lego sets, and Barbie dolls are among the toys waiting to be picked up by families just in time for Christmas.
We were really thrilled to see so many donations, both physical toys as well as monetary donations, come in during our big push and the lead up to our 2 days at CF Polo Park. But it's no surprise this year that a lot of folks are struggling, and so we did see fewer donations than we had in previous years.
The Salvation Army's Toy Mountain campaign brought in about 4,000 toys last weekend. However, that's about 2,000 toys less than last year. And with 300 families stopping by the toy store every day to select gifts for their kids, every donated toy helps.
These toys behind me are going to go really quickly, so we'd really love to encourage folks, if they are able, to make a donation at one of the many drop-off locations that are available throughout the city of Winnipeg.
The Salvation Army says toys for kids between the ages of 5 and 6, as well as 7 and 9, are needed the most right now. A full list of drop-off locations can be found on CTV Winnipeg's Toy Mountain webpage. The Salvation Army is accepting toy and cash donations right up until December 23rd. And here's another way you can help out. Your next cup of coffee or tea could help support Toy Mountain. Local coffee chain Colosimo Coffee Roasters collabed with our friends at Virgin Radio to present 2 holiday-themed drinks to support Toy Mountain. London Nog and Earl Grey with eggnog, and Coffee Fee Latte, inspired from those Toffee candies, were presented in the Snack Shot segment of the Ace Burpee Show.
They asked us if we would want to get involved in something, and then the proceeds are going to be going to the Toy Mountain this year, which is, helping out, providing everyone have a great Christmas and families and throughout this season. And yeah, we're just excited to be a part of anything to do that we can give back to the community, support community, coffee community, who is hand in hand.
London Nog and Coffee Fee Latte are available this week until Saturday at the chain's 4 locations in Winnipeg. A portion of the proceeds will go to Toy Mountain. A full list of the chain's locations can be found. Just go to their website, ColossimoCoffee.com.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
A coffee fee latte might just be what I need to distract myself from what's happening on those maps behind you.
At least one. That sounds so delicious.
Doesn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not a big eggnog fan, but
I don't mind
coffee fees. I
love them, especially at this time of year. Any time of the year, but especially at this time of year. So good on them for teaming up with our pals over at radio. Well, folks, brace yourself. It's going to be an interesting week weather-wise. Starting tonight, you can see the radar already pretty active behind me. 2 potent Alberta clippers will be passing through Manitoba over the next few days. One's going to bring significant snow to parts of the north. That will be the one that's in progress now, and then the next one is going to bring significant snow by the looks of it to the south, but not just snow. Temperatures are going to be rising up above freezing. Yes, it's the middle of December, but we'll see temperatures up above freezing tonight as we head into tomorrow morning across much of the province. So it won't just be snow that's falling. We may see some freezing rain crossing the south tonight. Northwestern Ontario, not much happening there now, just clouds, but ice pellets expected to form overnight there. And again, then there's the snow falling across parts of the north. Now, it's not going to be a similar amounts all across the north, but some areas like Lynn Lake will get substantial amounts tonight. Thompson, as much as 10 centimeters in the next 24 hours or so. But you see on the southern flank of this snow, you see it turns to freezing rain tonight. That's because those temperatures will be rising, not just here in the south, but in much of the north as well. But down in the south as well, freezing rain is certainly possible. So folks, watch out for slippery roads and highways with these temperatures moving around unusually. Overnight, there we go. Now we get into Tuesday. Doesn't look like much happening here in the south, at least in the morning. But further north, you can see through central regions, we have freezing rain and even some snow up into the northeast there and really back across the most southern parts of northern Manitoba. But take a look at tomorrow, late in the morning into the early part of the afternoon. We may well be contending with rain here in the southeast. Flurries likely in Brandon. The winds, they're going to whip around, come out of the northwest and be very strong. I'm talking 70-kilometer-an-hour wind gusts here in the south, especially in the southeast. So we'll see that flip over maybe to flurries or light snow, also into northwestern Ontario as well. We clear right out, and that's going to be round 1 for you with a little bit left over coming through. Then we get into Wednesday, then it's southern Manitoba's turn to get the snow. And look at where the snow and the freezing rain is, right along the highways there, that Trans-Canada corridor, as well as the yellowhead you see there. So there is the possibility by Wednesday night that we could have some pretty terrible weather and road conditions out there. Now, -9, the highest temperature. We'll see, or lowest temperature tonight, rather. We'll see temperatures rise throughout the night to +3 in the morning. Possibility of rain by late morning, flurries in the afternoon as the temperature falls in those strong northwest winds. Snow tonight across the north with temperatures rising. Watch out for freezing rain. Temperatures falling tomorrow. Same thing for the northwest. Temperatures rising tonight, falling tomorrow. That snow tapering off in the morning for Flin Flon in the Paw. In the southwest tonight, temperatures rising up to freezing, if not above it. Then we'll see snow around Swan River, flurries around Brandon and Ipawa. Watch out for precipitation around Dauphin. Winnipeg in the southeast tonight. Temperatures rising above freezing for most of us, and then cue the rain late tomorrow morning, potentially with some flurries or light snow in the afternoon as temperatures fall. Northwestern Ontario, ice pellets overnight tonight, and you may well see some rain come through tomorrow with those temperatures as warm as 5 degrees in Fort Frances. With that all said, let's take a look at our first weather photo. This is the view out today on Lake Winnipeg. That view is courtesy of Clive. And this next photo was the sunrise southeast of Mitchell, Manitoba. That photo was from Marlene. Send us your photos to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Thanks, Colleen. With the high cost of living, many people are feeling financial pressures, and that could mean you may need to take out a loan. But if you do, you need to watch out for the advanced fee loan scam. You're told to pay a fee up front to get a loan, but then it never happens. CTV's Pat Foran reports.
I don't want them scamming other people. Linda Bailey of Pickering says it was in September when she went online and Googled loan companies. One of the first to pop up was Dynamic Resource Solutions. She contacted them and was told she could get a $20,000 loan, but she had to pay $4,000 in advance to secure the funds.
They came up and I read all their stuff about them. People gave good reviews on them.
Once Bailey paid the advance fee, the loan never happened. She was scammed out of $4,000.
I'm losing my car, I'm losing my home, I'm losing my animals, I'm losing everything.
CTV News emailed and called Dynamic Resource Solutions but did not get a response. There have been other complaints about the company made to the Better Business Bureau.
It's illegal in Ontario to ask for an advance fee for any type of loan.
Angela Dennis with the BBB says scammers often target people who have credit issues and who might not be able to get a loan through a traditional lender.
When people are paying these fees, typically they're being told it's for insurance purposes or an administration fee, and consumers are sending in their money and they're not receiving the loan.
To avoid the advance fee loan scam, beware if a loan is guaranteed and a credit check is not necessary. Be suspicious if you're asked to pay fees or a deposit in advance, such as insurance or processing charges. And be concerned if the company doesn't exist at a physical address. Bailey is now in a worse financial situation since being scammed out of $4,000, and she still has bills that need to be paid.
Can't get my money back. I can't get it back. That's just, it's the way it'll be.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Coming up, health officials warn about a rapid rise in flu cases after the deaths of 3 children in the Ottawa area. That's next in Medical Watch. A hobbyist on the East Coast made a rare discovery recently, a coin that dates back 300 years. CTV's Carl Pomeroy did some digging of his own to find out what this treasure could be worth.
The thing that got me into this hobby, honestly, was about 25 years ago. I was at a flea market and I bought a $2 metal detector, and I was out the same day and I found an old locket. And that was my first taste of actually finding something. It was probably one of the best feelings I've had. And as they say, you get hooked on it as soon as you kind of get in that little world. One of the things that I found was extremely special to me that I never expected what I found was a 1721 Spanish real. When I found this, it was on a rocky beach, and it was one of those places that I thought it was a beep that wasn't going to be anything special. Pulled it up. I thought it was a piece of metal, but I realized how much history I had in my hand as soon as I seen those symbols on that coin.
That coin was actually a Spanish 1 real coin that would have circulated in Canada from the 17 and 1800s. It was sort of the de facto coin that was used and recognized worldwide, and it was actually the basis on which American coinage was based on. Today, in the condition that we saw it in the picture, would probably be worth somewhere between $50 to $100 maybe. In better condition, we could be looking at several hundred, even up to $1,000. This is an 8 real coin that would have circulated. So this is 8 times the size of the one that Drew had found. And this would have been the larger form of that. This was actually salvaged from a shipwreck, a real shipwreck called the El Calzador. In terms of how rare they are to find nowadays outside of actual shipwrecks, it's a really unusual find. So he was really lucky to pick that up where he did. When you're having fun and you're passionate about what you do, you just don't stop, and don't let anything stop you, because you never know where you might find another treasure.
There's so much history here under our feet, and that's what they meant by it. I guess it's just under your feet. You have to look for it, right? And when you pull it up, you can feel the history.
Ottawa Public Health says 3 children have died from flu-related complications in the Ottawa area this month. The children were between the ages of 5 and 9. It comes as officials are warning of a significant rise in influenza A cases. Medical officers of health are strongly recommending everyone aged 6 months and older get their flu vaccine as soon as possible. Ottawa's Children's Hospital has reported a higher than usual number of flu cases and complications so far this month. Canadian Blood Services is reducing its reliance on the U.S. for life-changing plasma drugs. Canada gets about 70% of the drugs from international sources. Much of that is from the U.S. The agency's CEO says the current political climate in the U.S., as well as increased demand, means Canada must become more self-sufficient. CBS is aiming to make at least 50% of its own supply in the next couple of years. The agency has partnered with global medical company Grifols, which is building a facility in Montreal to start making immunoglobulin by the end of 2027. Researchers say young Canadians are the unhappiest generation. Life benchmarks are happening later for Canada's young people, from families to finance, and their happiness levels have been plummeting. The World Happiness Report says Canadians under 30 used to be the happiest age group in the country as recently as 2011. The 2024 edition of the decades-long study published by the Wellbeing Research Centre at the University of Oxford looked at 134 countries. Only 4 saw a worse decline in those under 30 than Canada: Jordan, Venezuela, Lebanon, and Afghanistan. The founding editor of the World Happiness Report says social and economic conditions are not seen by today's young as promising, unlike previous generations. Young people across Canada interviewed by the Canadian Press describe being bogged down by an unaffordable housing market, struggles to save for the future, online gloom, and a growing mental health crisis.
Medical Watch is brought to you by Manukin Koster Denture Clinic.
The movie superhero roster is about to get a little bigger, and we have your first look at the newest edition. Plus, the battle to the top of the weekend box office has a returning champion. Spotlight is next.
Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting Men Without Hats in the Spoons.
A previous #1 made its way back to the top of the weekend box office.
We have to solve the case. It's not worth dying for.
Deadline reports Zootopia 2 brought in another $26.3 million U.S. across North America, returning to #1 in its third weekend. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 fell to second place with $19.5 million, and Wicked for Good is still flying high in third place with another $8.5 million in ticket sales. The next member of the DC Universe isn't a regular girl, she's a Supergirl.
Okay, this does not look like this is going to end well for you guys.
The first teaser trailer for next summer's Supergirl has just dropped. In the trailer, Kara Zor-El, known as Supergirl, played by Millie Alcock, is celebrating her 23rd birthday, but soon has to step into her own as a hero. It's in theaters June 26th. Actor Anthony Geary, best known as half of daytime TV super couple Luke and Laura on General Hospital, has died at 78.
A strange place to do business, isn't it, Luke?
I don't tell you how to run your life, so don't tell me how to run mine, okay?
Geary died Sunday in Amsterdam of complications from a surgical procedure days prior. His career spanned more than 40 years, earning 8 Daytime Emmy Awards for his work on General Hospital. The Wedding of Luke and Laura was a pop culture phenomenon in 1981, with a record 30 million viewers tuning in to watch them tie the knot. Geary also has a number of TV and stage credits, including stints on soap operas The Young and the Restless and Bright Promise. He lived a quiet life with his husband in Amsterdam. Your primetime lineup starts at 7 tonight with St. Dennis Medical. Then at 7:30, it's The Big Bang Theory. At 8, watch The Voice. And at 10, it's Tracker. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
The CTV Primetime lineup is brought to you by Strictly Amish, exclusively in Arborg, Manitoba.
Look who's home for the holidays. Still to come, Santa Claus returns to Portage Place to share a little Christmas magic with the community.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
-9, -10, the coolest temperature actually right around now. We'll see temperatures rising throughout the night. That's why you see the asterisk. There is that chance of freezing rain, some pretty strong south winds. We may well see some rain tomorrow morning. We get to +3 before the temperature falls to -8 in the afternoon, turning to flurries, that precipitation with these very strong north winds. We could see wind gusts up to 70 kilometers an hour. Snow on Wednesday, snow and blowing snow Wednesday night. It will clear out on Thursday. The temperature just -18. The next round of snow comes through Friday, -14, and then colder temperatures return for the weekend.
Thanks, Colleen. Portage Place may be undergoing a major redevelopment, but the magic of Christmas remains untouched. Oh, look at that cute face. That's right, folks. Santa Claus is back. Ongoing work at the downtown mall couldn't stop the big guy from popping in for a visit. He says he wanted to celebrate the $650 million redevelopment and bring some community vibes back into the space.
What's going on here with these people? I want to see as many children as possible. Children of all ages, of course. Yes, sir. Bring them down, get their picture taken with Santa, have a nice memento of this 2025 Christmas season.
Santa spent 27 years at the mall before taking a break last year after True North purchased Portage Place, but he's sticking around for the next week. Photos are free for anyone who brings non-perishable food or new warm winter clothing for donation. Santa's hours are up on our website. Just go to ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. There you go. You can go get a photo on your coffee break, Colleen.
That's right. That sounds good. We should do that.
Yeah, bring a donation. All right, that does it for us tonight. Have a good one. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Good night.